Here we are live, John Baxter live. I'm here in Orlando, Florida at the Renaissance Hotel right across from SeaWorld. I'm at the Breakthrough Coaching Conference and it's so excited to be here. I've got a really nice presentation here with Anti-Aging Bed, the sponsor. And we've got a hyperbaric chamber, the med bed, anti-aging bed cover, and we've got our new sound bed right back there. So we've got a sound sleep technology. It's exciting, and we're casing it in front of a large group of doctors, lots of practitioners, people that are into health at a very high level. At the top, the peak of people that are influential in the world of healing and health. We've got an amazing interview today with Dr. Fab Mancini. I'm honored to have him on my show, and this is just so amazing. I think it's not going to do me justice to do an intro for him, actually, but we're going to play his intro right before we get him on. And just the exciting show today, we're talking about Dr. Fab and self-healing. You know, he's got a new book called The Power of Self-Healing. So that is kind of the genre what we'll be talking about today. And I'm not going to keep Dr. Fab waiting. I'm going to go ahead and play an intro. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. And we'll get this thing going.
Dr. Fabrizio Mancini.
Dr. Fabrizio Mancini.
We're joined now by Dr. Fab Mancini, a healthy living expert.
I'm here with chiropractor Dr. Fabrizio Mancini.
Healthy living expert, Dr. Fab Mancini. He's an internationally acclaimed inspirational author. He's president of Parker University in Dallas, Texas.
I became a chiropractor by profession. Then I studied acupuncture. Then I started studying all the healing arts, energy medicine, nutrition, and I started understanding that there was so much to the story that I was never told in school.
Our bodies are self-healing and self-regulating. So that means that we're already born to heal naturally.
Our relationships is really very important because we're all meant to be connected with each other. But the key thing is how do we keep that relationship in the moment? See, I find that most people are either living too much into the future or too much into the past.
Chiropractic is a healthcare profession that is aligned with nature in a way to remove interference so the body can actually function the way it was designed to function.
Pain is not the problem. The problem is the fact that the body communicates through the nervous system, and it just lets us know that there is a problem inside.
What could be causing this pain? That's the first thing I want every single person to ask themselves.
We have been sold a lie that says that our bodies only heal from outside in, that unless I take this prescription, unless I get this injection, unless I get this surgical procedure, my body cannot heal naturally. I have found that to be absolutely opposite to the truth.
Your body can heal anything.
So there we have it. That might not be fully live on some of the shows. That was maybe an audio for some of us. We're in this live location here and on Wi-Fi. So excuse that because it was important to go live in location, and some reception might have been off there. But I'm going to go ahead and get Dr. Fab on. Here's Dr. Fab.
Hey, John, how are you, buddy? It's so great to see you again.
It's great to see you and be here. We just had an amazing, you did the keynote speaking. I was just blown away about the speech, and like I've always been. So it's an honor to have you on, Dr. Fab. And I was just going to ask you, what have you been up to lately?
Well, thank you so much. I always get excited because in my life, I do a lot of public speaking. And like tonight, it was a group of, as you know, very high-level integrative doctors, holistic doctors, doctors of chiropractic, nurse practitioners, medical doctors, functional medicine doctors. And I love to speak to them because as a consumer, sometimes we don't understand that our doctors feel a lot of responsibility for the health of our patients. And sometimes they need to get charged up. They need to learn. They need to see what the latest technologies. And that's actually the theme of this convention, is how to leverage the latest technology in healthcare to be able to serve our patients. So uh, as far as what I'm doing, I love the fact that I am in a position that I can speak a lot to the regular public, and especially with my television appearances and radio appearances, I get to reach a lot of people every week. And what I realized is, especially post pandemic, right now, people are looking for answers, and there's a high level of interest for people to recognize that the traditional healthcare system that we have is not solving our healthcare problems. And that is really an interesting thing, because I had to make a decision early on in my life. Did I want to be a neurosurgeon, or did I want to be a holistic preventative provider? And I chose that 35 years ago, that I wanted to be in the world of holism. I understood that there was plenty of science, and that the best way to help somebody with their health is to make them understand how to improve their lifestyle choices. And if they make little better choices today, tomorrow they'll be a little healthier. And if tomorrow they make better choices than yesterday, they'll be healthier the next day. And that's really the secret to health, is to make good choices every day.
Awesome. Well said. That's just amazing. And one of the things that I've ran across is just in my own self healing. It's you've got a book that's out called the Power of Self Healing, and I thought it was amazing when I had known that, because it was like I went through a pain to purpose journey through my own injury. And for me, I thought the book was right on point, and it was just you were ahead of time when that book came out. So it was all right on time when I found it. So, but yeah, can you cover why you wrote this?
Well, it's interesting, because that book is my fourth best-selling book. It came out in 2012, and many people saw that the first show that they saw, it was the Dr. Phil show, since Dr. Phil has been a big fan of the work that I've done with him over the years. And then it went to the Doctor show, and then it went to pretty much all the major shows on television and radio. And the reason that I chose that title is because I realized that the biggest challenge in someone's health is the fact that most people feel disempowered. They don't think that their body has the capabilities of healing. They think that they need a third party, a doctor, a provider, to tell them what they need to do, instead of listening to their own inner wisdom. They think they need the latest miracle drug out there to help them, instead of understanding that our bodies are made up with every chemistry that you possibly can need. And if you need some assistance, you can go to plants and whole foods and nutrition and energy and all of these things that we understand over the years, that there's plenty of science, but it's not being talked about by our doctors. So I came up with the title, The Power of Self-Healing, because I want to empower you. I want to empower you to understand that you have the power to heal right now. All you have to do is make the decision to heal and begin to follow the behaviors that I talk about in the book. So I believe that's the reason that it became an international bestseller, and 12 languages now, #1 in over 10 countries. And it was a big sensation, but I think it's more relevant today, post the pandemic, than ever before, because people are really interested in wanting to know, how can I self-heal? Because definitely my drugs, my medicine, my doctors are not getting the job done.
Well, that's so on point, and like you said, that's just been out like a minute, but that is just such an amazing book. I That. So through my pain to purpose journey too, we go through the physical pain of just the ailment or whatever that someone's trying to address. I mean, could you cover some of how we can self heal physically? It's always been something that's been on my mind, that to get it from you actually.
Well, it's interesting because when I started working on this book, what I did is that I interviewed about 50 patients that were told that they would never heal, right? Because remember, anytime you get an opinion by your provider, it's just an opinion. And that opinion is based on two things: their education, meaning, did you select a particular provider that is trained traditionally, or did you select a provider that is trained holistically, or did you select a provider that is trained energetically, or did you select a provider that is trained emotionally and spiritually? So it's always, remember, it's just an opinion. So I wanted to understand, what was it that these individuals thought helped them get well when everybody told them they wouldn't get well? And that's when it began to be revealed that there were certain things that kept popping up as to what really helped us in our physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. So that way I divided the book into three sections. And then the fourth section is I created a 21-day program that will help you heal. And in fact, if you go to my website, which is right here, drfabmancini.com, and you just put in your information, you have the resources that you can get access to, the book and some other things that will help you right now. And I think that will help you tremendously. So then the other thing was, when it became too physical, there were primarily four things that came up that I think is very important to understand. The first one is no secret. The first one was exercise. We recognize that exercise, many people call it, is the new medicine. It's important to understand that if you could bottle the benefits of exercise, you will be a very healthy person. People will be drinking the bottle, or like Jack LaLanne would tell you, you know, uh, people wanted to be fit, but they wanted Jack LaLanne to do their push-ups for him. And he said, there's no way that's going to give you any benefit, right? It's going to give me the benefit. So I think it's important to understand, and the science proved it, that your body was meant to move. You need to wake up every morning and begin with movement. And that could mean as simple as doing jumping jacks, sit ups, push ups. It could be running in place. It could be the fact that you take a run or a walk. It could be that you go to the gym, and you do the treadmill, or you do the bicycle, or it means that you take the dog for a walk and you move a little bit faster than you would otherwise. But the key thing is to try to do it between 20 and 25 minutes, where you're moving your body to the point that is giving you a little bit of a heart rate that is higher, in which you're breathing heavier, so you're breathing more oxygen into the body, because that's part of the health benefit. And also, it starts creating a tremendous amount of chemicals in your body that are very healthy to recover your brain, to recover your body, and give you that energy that naturally you like. The second thing that we found is nutrition. And it's interesting because these are things that we all know, but sometimes we don't make them practical for ourselves. So what I learned from nutrition is, number one, we start with our foods. Nothing beats our foods. And we need to eat more holistically. We need to make sure that we have more vegetables in our plate than anything else. So about 50% of our plate should be vegetables. About 25% of our plates could actually be some kind of healthy meat. Fish is always the most recommendable because it's lighter to digest. Chicken will be second, and beef will be third, in that order. And then the last one, it could be the fact that you can put some fruit. just a little bit of fruit, and I would try to use the kind of fruit that is low in sugar, like berries, blueberries, strawberries. Those are all very wonderful. Those are wonderful fruits that you can have. Your plate should be big for breakfast, medium size for lunch, and very small for dinner. That's the recommended portions that we have seen that work the best. And then we realized that with intermittent fasting, the New England Journal of Medicine declared a couple of years ago that intermittent fasting is the fastest way not only to lose weight, but to stay young for anti-aging. And the good news with intermittent fasting is that it doesn't tell you what to eat. So you're not going to follow any diet. You just gonna, they only tells you when to eat. And as long as you have a window of 4 or 6 hours a day that you eat in that window, and the rest of the time while you're sleeping you don't eat, then now all of a sudden your body has the ability to regenerate, and it's going to help you look and feel really good. So that's the other thing that we learned. And then of course the last one is the supplements. We realize that it's important that people understand that the body needs support. Many times we can't get the ingredients that the body needs in order to heal from our foods because we're limited. Depending on where we live, we're limited as to how many, when we can eat, how well can we prepare our foods, etc. And especially when we have a generation that's eating a lot of fast food. So what I did in that case, I created 6 solutions that the pandemic made worse in order to help people. And if you go to my website, drfabmancini.com, you can actually see them right there. It will pop up. It's called Healthy Essentials. And the first one was healthy energy. The number one complaint that people had during the pandemic is that they were actually weak, that they have a lack of energy, they didn't have the same energy as before. Whether you had the vaccine or not, people claim that. The second thing is people gain a lot of weight, somewhere between 20 and 25 pounds, the average American gained during the pandemic. So I created a product called Weight Control, which allows you to have ingredients that help you lose weight, inches and weight, but also we put in ingredients that help you emotionally stable, depression, anxiety, and all of the things that make you want to eat the bad foods. So that combination is helping a lot of people lose weight, but also keep it off. The third thing was immune support. It's obvious that during the pandemic, everybody was telling you to wash your hands and keep a distance, but the news wasn't telling you that you needed to have vitamin C and vitamin D3, and you needed to have zinc. So what we did is that we put high dosages of the 3 things that we knew which is going to help you build your immune system based on science, and we put it into one capsule that you take 2 a day, and that'll keep you really good. And if you're feeling a little weak, you can take 4 a day and up to 6 a day, and it will make you feel much better in the morning. The other one is brain support. We realized that the pandemic made a lot of people foggy, forgetful. We saw that the statistics on dementia went very high. And so we created a product, and we realized that the best way to help your brain is to help it decrease inflammation. So we put together capsules that were vegetarian capsules with the highest grades of omegas and oils, fish oils, and that's one of the best things. And then the other one would be better sleep. Over 100 million Americans reported that they're not sleeping well during the pandemic and after. So then we created a patent ingredient that allows you to not only go deep in your sleep, but also wake up very restful in the morning. And the last one is joint pain. And we realized that there was an ingredient that a lot of people didn't know about called perluxin. And that perluxin has been found clinically to be superior to anything regarding your joint pain and discomfort. And that's been a wonderful opportunity for you to help you with your pain. So all of these conditions now have a solution that anybody can benefit from, and you can find them there. And then the last thing on the physical is something, John, that when I met you, I don't know if you remember, I told you that the three technologies that you put in the anti-aging bed cover are the three technologies that I recommended people that they need to look for. The first one is grounding. Most people don't realize the negative effects of all the wireless and the G5s and everything that we have in our world. And it's important to ground, and our bodies were meant to be close to Mother Earth. But the problem is we're not able to do that because of our daily routines. So the fact that you have a bed cover that while you sleep, it grounds your body is one of the healthiest things that I recommend people to do. The second one was far infrared. We all know the benefits of far infrared, but a lot of times people don't realize that you don't have to just get into an LED light, or you don't have to do all these things. You can just sleep in the bed cover, and it allows your own body to be able to produce the antioxidants and the things that it needs in order to be healthy. So for your body to recover fully, you need to be able to have that 6 hours to help your body with your own heat create the far infrared. And the last one, and this is brilliant, it was the antimicrobial silver. I've been telling people that silver is one of the best things that we can have against to build our immune system. And this antimicrobial, that was beautiful is the fact that it helps you be able to have a very clean cover, but more importantly, be able to have the benefits of silver in your body to help your body heal faster. And that's the reason that so many people have said that when they sleep in the anti-aging bed cover, all of a sudden they feel like brand new. And I was one of those people. And that's the reason that I've been recommending it to everybody that I meet, that you cannot afford to go to sleep in any bed without having the anti-aging bed cover. So those are the 4 things that we discover can help you physically self-heal.
Thanks for sharing that, Dr. Fab. That was awesome, very thorough. Just those different layers. And then, brought up the sleep. And then, Dr. Greg will say, how did Baxter come up with that? But sleep is the supplement. I've said it a couple times. It's at the end there. It's just amazing all the different ways that you can self-heal yourself. And one of the next layers, we kind of call it like an onion. You're just peeling back the onion. You got problems. I had all these issues. Peeling back the onion, eventually you get to the next layer. Could you talk about like the emotional side of self-healing? Because it's all the different health issues that are going out now. It's not about physical as much anymore. It appears that emotional. Could you cover some of this? How we can heal emotionally?
Well, that's a great question, because when I wrote the book, I was basing a lot of my comments on the science of emotional healing. And we started recognizing that emotions changes the chemistry of the bodies. And emotions, just like stress, right, is an emotion that can actually build cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone. It's a very destructing hormone. And when you're happy and when you're joyful, then you build like oxytocin, which is the opposite. It's the happy hormone. It makes you feel good all over. So what I realized when I started interviewing these patients is that there were 3 emotions primarily. I call them self-healing emotions, that if there were 3 things you had to work on, these are the 3 you need to work on every single day. The first one, that the science was very clear, is forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the greatest self-healing emotions, because many people are still holding resentments and anger and grudges for something that happened many years ago. Maybe it was your grandparents or your parents, or your brother or your sister. Maybe it was that first boyfriend that broke your heart. Maybe it was that first girlfriend that left you standing up for the prom and never showed up. There's just a lot of people. And then in business, you have people that unfortunately take advantage and they betray you. In friendships, you have people that betray you. So you have all of these emotions that pile up. And unfortunately, most people don't bother to just say, you know what? I'm going to forgive them, not because I'm justifying or agreeing that what they did was okay. I'm going to forgive them because I don't want to carry all that anger. I don't want to carry all that negativity inside of me. It's killing me. And actually, people would tell you that their anger, their resentments kill them because they get sick. It actually completely victimizes you. So one of the things that we learn is that we can just very gently learn to forgive. So what are some of the things that you can do to forgive? One of the things is think about maybe one circumstance in which you were really hurt. And maybe if somebody was involved, you write the circumstance on a piece of paper, you write the name of the person, and then you write, I forgive you. And then you crumple it up, and then you put it on a metal can, or you can do a pot, and you light it on fire and see it all disappear. That way you are physically letting go of that forgiveness. That's one exercise that I use for my patients extremely well, and it helps them get rid of that anger and resentment. The second emotion that we found to be extremely beneficial is the emotion of gratitude. Uh, what happens now is that we find that most people are either always wanting something that they don't have, right? If you have shoes, you want better shoes. If you have a nice watch, you want a better watch. If you have a nice apartment, you want a bigger house. If you have a car, you want something else. So the problem with that is the fact that we're not appreciating what we do have. And unfortunately, when you don't appreciate what you do have, you always feel less than somebody else. And that's why I always recommend never to compare yourself with anybody else and to recognize that things are primarily to be able to be practical. For instance, a pair of shoes is better than walking barefoot. So appreciate your shoes. A car, no matter how ugly and no matter how bad it looks, is better than having to walk or take the bus. A house or an apartment, no matter how pretty or how bad it is still better than sleeping outside on the streets. So just be grateful. A relationship is better than not having a relationship at all, right? Because it's better than being by yourself all the time. So I just want people to recognize that they need to exercise gratitude every single day with everyone in their lives and everything that they have. So just be grateful for everyone in your life and everything that you have. And the last emotion that we found through the science that was extremely self-healing is the emotion of unconditional love. We begin to recognize of all the emotions out there, when you're loving yourself, all of a sudden that is the greatest healer that there is. There's nothing greater than you loving yourself. The problem is that most people love ourselves based on how many people love us. And that's unfortunate because my dear friend Luis Hay that wrote the best-selling book, You Can Heal Your Life, she used to say, you know, Fab, when I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I say, Luis, I love you. She said that may be the only time that day that she heard those words, the only time that week that she heard those words, the only time that month that she heard those words. She said every day we need to begin by loving ourselves first, by looking at the mirror, and instead of criticizing and judging everything you see, I wish I had hair. I wish I had more hair. I wish my hair was a different color. I wish my hair was straight. I wish my hair was curly. I wish I was a different color. I wish I looked differently. I wish I was skinnier. I wish I was bigger. All of those things only take away from your self-esteem. And your self-esteem is important for your health process. So I recommend people to begin loving themselves a little bit more every single day. I want everybody out there to recognize that you have the ability to love and be loved. I want others to accept the love that is being offered to them. One of the problems that we have out there is that sometimes we are not feeling worthy of the love of others. People come out to our rescue and we say, no, 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 I don't need you. People want to come and hug us and we say, no, I don't believe in hugs. People want to share with us and we don't want to accept them. I'm encouraging you to say yes. Anytime somebody offers kindness, love, patience, appreciation, take it because you can't get enough of it. It's important to have that. And those are the three emotions that we discovered, John, that were the self-healing emotions.
Well, that's very deep, Dr. Fab. There was some stuff there I know that I need to work on. But yeah, for my own self healing, as it's you're only as good as your last race. You know, you can fall off, you can get close, you can be that sharp edged sword for only so long. You know, eventually you're going to have a piece of pie or something, right? So I guess this is practical knowledge at any stage of your life, wherever you're at, and that depth of emotion was really good explanation, and that leads into another type of question I've got here in terms of say like the mind body spirit, kind of the ascension of this equipment that we have. You know, how do we self heal spiritually? Could you give us some info on how that could occur?
Well, it's interesting because when I was discovering from these patients that many claim that it was the spiritual side of it that healed them, we know that an emotional condition can cause a physical problem. We know that a physical condition can cause an emotional problem. We know now that a spiritual condition can actually cause an emotional or a spiritual or a physical problem. So it's important to recognize that when you are healing and self-healing yourself, that you're doing something on all three dimensions. But what was interesting is that when I was writing this book, I was telling many of my doctor colleagues that I was going to write about the spiritual science of healing. And many of them were saying, "Oh, you don't want to go to the spiritual side. That's for religion." And I'm like, "Whoever said that? All of us have a spiritual side to us, period. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of a spirit." And I remember Wayne Dyer, my dear friend, and also he did the foreword for my book, The Power of Self-Healing. He used to tell me, Fab, people need to understand that we are not physical beings living a spiritual experience, but that we're actually spiritual beings living a physical experience. So we are spirit first, physical second. So for me, whenever I want to tackle a condition, I go spirit, emotional, and physical. The way traditional medicine looks at everything is they go physical, emotional, and maybe spiritual, but usually we don't want to deal with that world. And that is totally the opposite of what I've learned over the last 35 years of being a healthcare provider to many, many people and having amazing results with people. I mean, that's why I'm a media expert. The media brings me when allopathic medicine is not working. They say, well, Dr. Fab, what do we have in the holistic world? What does the science say? And the thing that I do is I always bring my science with me because people think that non-traditional ways of healing are hocus pocus. And you know, John, you're a scientist, you know that there is so much science out there that people don't have the opportunity to learn about. Their doctors are not talking about it. And what I always tell patients, and even in my book, I wrote it, take a second and third opinion, but don't go to a traditional doctor only. Go out there and find a chiropractor that has amazing training, an acupuncturist that has amazing training, homeopath, naturopath, people that are going to give you a different way of looking at things. Go to energy medicine, frequencies. That's revolutionizing the world of science, the world of health right now. And you, John, know better than anyone that through that technology, we are able to solve most of the problems that traditional medicine is struggling with. But the problem is people need to wake up. I find that a lot, because I've been in this space for 35 years, I find that a lot of times people tell me, well, my doctor should have told me. I said, well, don't wait till a doctor tells you. You go find out what's going on. Go ask people, go see different providers until you get the answer that's right for you. So I realized that there were three things in the spiritual world that was actually allowing people to heal. The first one was interesting to me, and it was being around nature. You know, the spiritual sense of ourselves is when we recognize that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, right? We have this frame we call body, but if we think this body is not connected to the earth, to the universe, we got a problem. So what I encourage people to do is to connect with the universe and connect with Mother Earth by simply taking walks, observing the beauty of nature, seeing a flower be able to bloom, recognizing a bee getting the pollen from that flower, being able to notice the beautiful shapes of our trees, walk barefooted on the sand, the beach, uh, barefooted on the grass, you know, make sure that you feel the nature. Watch a sunrise, watch a sunset, look at the stars at night, and be able to see that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves. And that's one of the things that I've learned some of these people did that were able to heal. The second one was that we needed to learn to pray and meditate. I went to the science and I realized that there were so many studies about prayer and meditation that nobody was looking at. And no doctor say, well, Fab, if you want to get better, you should pray a little bit more or you should meditate every day. And that's when I realized I'm going to start telling everybody to pray and meditate every day because we have science that tell us that when you pray and meditate, you actually heal 50% faster. You recover from surgeries faster. You live longer. I mean, you're happier throughout your life. It's got so many benefits and people are not paying attention. And then the last thing that I learned, and this was a little bit different, is that we needed to have a sense of purpose. You see, spirituality is about understanding that there's a meaning and a reason for you being here. And it's up to you to discover what that is. Now, sometimes when we're children, we feel like we know what we want to be when we grow up, but then everybody tries to talk us out of it. I want to be a policeman. Oh, honey, you don't want to be a policeman. That's dangerous. Oh, become an accountant. And you're miserable the rest of your life. Maybe a policeman is what you were meant to be. You know, I was very blessed that I discovered very early in my life that I was meant to be a doctor. And yes, even though I've been a doctor, I've been an educator, president of Parker University for 13 years, and now president emeritus. I've been an entertainer and media expert for over 12 years, consistently, and over 30 years, uh, where I'm, you know, sharing with people. I write books, you know, English is a second language to me. And I've written 4 best-selling books. I just wrote my 5th book during the pandemic. So I realized that you have to live whatever that vision, that whatever that dream it was, and understand that many times people are going to try to take you away from that dream, and it's okay. Don't let them. Don't let them. It's up to you. If you wanted to be a dancer, be a dancer. You want to be an astronaut, be an astronaut. If you want to be a politician and change the world, be a politician and change the world. If you want to be uh, a caretaker for individuals that are in hospice, be a caretaker. I'm encouraging you. If you want to be a teacher, be a teacher. I want you to be anything you want to be, and it's up to you to decide. And the good news is this: if you're not happy where you are, you can always change it. I changed career 3 times, right? Completely different careers: healthcare, education, entertainment. And I realized that it's just me. Those are different mediums to share who I am. And I have loved the transition, and I teach. You know, I have a group of CEOs that I mentor, and I've been mentoring for 6 years some of the most influential people in the world. And one of the things that I tell them is the fact that they need to keep seeking their potential in life, that they can be better. What is their purpose in life? And I help them reach out what that purpose is so they can really shine and thrive in their life and be happy. So those are the 3 things that we discovered through the science that can really help anybody self-heal in the spiritual realm.
That was Those were what I thought they might have been. I believe those are some good ones there. The meaning and purpose in the end of my pain to purpose story falls in line with this at a high level. And, just going through the different cycles of life, um, eventually, I guess you have to you master your own domain. And if someone's not going to give you the information, you have to find the information or seek out and research that information at a high level. Looks like you got here, Dr. Fab, all these different ways broken down, simple, concise ways to self heal. I was going to ask you a question in regards to the self healing. You get to the level. I know people like black belts. They want to get to the highest level, right? In regards to the self healing, let's say you get to the highest level of meaning and purpose. What's the next thing after that?
Well, it's interesting because health is not a destination, it's a journey. And what makes that journey very exciting to me is based on two things: the way we think about health today and what we do toward our health today. And every single day counts. I think a lot of times people try to make decisions that I want to be healthy, but they continue the same patterns of thinking. I'm meant to be sick. I'm going to catch a cold again. I'm going to get breast cancer because my mom had breast cancer. I mean, you start talking yourself into all of these things instead of having a positive attitude, recognizing that every day is an opportunity to change our behaviors and our mindset. So I think it's important. And that's one of the things that when I have people that want me to mentor them towards their health, like I have right now, an individual that is running a company that is multiples of billions of dollars, but he's got 10,000 employees. And all he asked me to do is, I can't afford to be sick. I need somebody like you to keep me accountable, to keep me healthy. And because I want to do well for my company and for all of my employees. This is the kind of people that everybody should be like, because your health should be your number one priority. But what's interesting, John, is that over the last 30 years, I've been asking people, what are the three things you value the most? And less than 10% of the people ever said health was a priority. Now, during the pandemic and after the pandemic, we find that over 80% of the people say that health is a priority. So it took the pandemic to make us understand that our health has to be important. When I created the Healthy Essential line, it was because I needed to address the 6 most common conditions. And I did that primarily because I was reporting on them in the news, but then people would say, I go to the store and I find that this company had the vitamin C, but they don't make vitamin D and they don't make zinc. What companies do I choose? What's the difference? And then I realized that a lot of the stuff in the market was not high quality, high grade. And I had to actually go ahead and create it because I couldn't find it out there. So I think it's important for people to understand that if you truly want to be healthy, regardless of what level you're in, whether you're very unhealthy right now or you feel like you are on the top of your game, is to recognize that tomorrow's decisions can be better than today's decisions. And that every single day you want to ask yourself, what could I do today better than I did yesterday? What can I think better than I did yesterday? And little by little, you start building yourself to a level that now all of a sudden you're in a much greater position. And that's one of the things that I encourage everybody to do, is to never think that you've arrived when it comes to your health. I mean, I have people right now that are billionaires that wish that they could give back their billions so they can be healthy. Why? Because they took health for granted in their journey. They were so focused on building their professional life that they didn't sleep enough. They drank too much. They ate too much. I mean, when I have friends of mine that are in the sales industry and they tell me, Oh no, I have to take clients to breakfast, to lunch, to dinner, and then I have to take them out after dinner, and then it's drinks, and then maybe we need to take them out to a club. I mean, that's not an easy lifestyle to have, especially when you do that multiple times a week. I realize the older I get that I need to be very disciplined with my time, and I need to put health as a top priority every single day. What can I do today to be healthy physically, emotionally, and spiritually? And that's why in my book, I created a 21-day program. And for those of you that will want it, just go into my site and put your name, and you have access to all of that. You can get the 21-day program that you can actually begin to implement one thing every single day that is going to help you be physically, emotionally, and spiritually healthy.
Well, that's just great information here. Just running along here with this type of information. Do you have any tips for the viewers at home, Dr. Fab, in regards to just how this body works, how it could improve, regenerate itself?
Well, thank you, John. I would tell you maybe some of my rituals, and I think that that will give you an understanding of why I have worked so hard in trying to improve my health over the last 35 years. The first thing that I do, which I recommend to all of my patients and my friends and my family, is that it's important to wake up with gratitude every day. It's important to recognize that you get another day to do it right, better than the day before. Um, right now, when I wake up in the morning, as you know, I'm your biggest fan on the anti-aging vet cover. Ever since I discovered that, I mean, I sleep better than ever in my 56 years, better than ever. I wake up rested from being able to be with that technology all night long. I do sleep 8 hours minimum. I think that's essential for the body to regenerate and recover. Uh, then I wake up and I use a technology called BrainTap. And BrainTap is a headset with LED lights in the ears and the eyes that allow my brain to wake up naturally and to be able to invigorate my brain even more. The bed cover already gives me all this amazing great feeling, but I use the brain tap in order to reprogram my subconscious mind. Let me give you an example why. The new science says that the average person has 70,000 thoughts a day. 70,000 thoughts a day. 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had the day before. So that means that we are repetitive in nature. And 80% of those thoughts are negative in nature. That means that not only are we repetitive, we are negative, so that we're repeating negativity every single day. So I believe that meditation and prayer and using the break tap is a great way for you to begin to put the positive in your mind and begin to reprogram that subconscious mind that is running 95% of who you are today. And then I go work out every single morning. I have laid out my clothes the night before. I go to the gym and I do what I like to do is interval training. And I discovered interval training about maybe 15 years ago because I started recognizing that the best athletes in the world were trained with interval training. And what interval training really means is that you're going to go hard for a minute and then slow down for 2 minutes. Whether you run, whether you do a bicycle, whether you do jumping jacks, sit ups, push ups, whether you lift weights, you go hard for 1 minute, you rest for 2 minutes. You go hard for 1 minute, you rest for 2 minutes. And you do that 5 to 7 times. You do that every single day. It's a short workout, but it makes you feel and it tones you like nobody's business, and you feel amazing. And the data and the science has proven it. Then after that, I rewrite my goals every day. Brian Tracy taught me that it's not as important to write your goals once or twice or 4 times a year. You have to rewrite them every day because Today is a different day than yesterday. Your priorities today may be your son or your daughter is sick, so you're going to put attention to that. Or your husband or wife is going through a difficult thing, you're going to put attention to that. Or you're having a crisis at work, that work takes all your attention, you're going to have to rewrite your priority or goals that day. So every single morning after I work out, I rewrite my goals for that day. And then I write 3 things that is important that I must accomplish today. 3 things that no matter what, they have to get done today. And what I do is I try to do those things first thing in the morning before I get busy. And that's how my days are very productive, because I keep my priorities in check. So now all of a sudden, I've been able to feed my mind, feed my body, feed my spirit, and then I do a recovery shake. And then I put my healthy essentials, which has over 30 superfoods. It's the only healthy energy drink that I have seen that doesn't have any sugar. I had to create it because it has no extra sugar, and it gives you the most amazing taste and the most amazing energy throughout the day. So I recover with my shake, and I can mix it with water, or I can do like a vegetable shake, a smoothie in the morning. And then I take a shower, and I'm ready to go. And I can be extremely productive because I've nurtured myself before I gave myself to others. So that's the one thing that I recommend everybody to do every single day, is begin the day with you. You are the most important thing in the world. I know that, especially you ladies, you like to put everybody ahead of your own needs. I know some men do that too, but I've seen more in the female population. And I always remind my female friends and patients, you need to make sure that you put yourself first. Take time for you. Otherwise, you're going to deplete. You're going to run out. And how many times have you found yourself saying, oh my God, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, and I haven't had time for myself today? No, go ahead and take a bubble bath if that's what you want. Go ahead and read a book if that's what you want. Go ahead and treat yourself to a nice walk or a nice jog, or go work out in the gym, but take care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, who's going to do it? And that's really important. So the other thing that I would encourage people to do is, when I became a doctor of chiropractic, I recognized that chiropractic, of all the health disciplines that I've learned and become certified in, chiropractic is still, to me, one of the most practical ways to stay healthy. And when you go to a doctor of chiropractic, he's going to allow your body to be able to function better by giving you simple, gentle adjustments to the spine, to the joints, whatever you need. And then that allows your body to recover better, to repair better, and all of a sudden you're feeling better than ever. I maintain my chiropractic adjustments on a weekly basis for over 35 years. And I recently took an x-ray, and my spine looked better than it did when I started chiropractic care, which was when I was 21 years old. 21 years old. I started chiropractic school, and that's when I became a chiropractic patient right before that. And I can tell you, your body regenerates constantly. So I want everybody to understand that it doesn't matter where you are right now. You just have to make a decision. You know what? I'm going to listen to this man that I listen to, Dr. Fab, and I'm going to start taking care of me, and I'm going to start doing something every day, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And I'm going to start putting that together. And if you want to read the book, or if you want the 21 steps, just go ahead and put your information in my website, drfabmancini.com, and you'll be able to benefit from all of that. And you have a lot of other resources that I'm giving you access to. And I think that's the best tips that I can give you.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Fab. That was quite the talk. I was going to say here, I don't know if that was a cut off there, but just great segment there, Dr. Fab. I think you would agree with this. It's not how many years you live in your life, it's the quality of those years that you're living, right? Being weak and tired or desolate, it's just not a fun. Those aren't fun years, right? So quality of years is important. I just got one question for you because we only got 5 minutes left. Knowing that, how old are you going to get, or what age are you going to get to?
Well, what's interesting is that I read a book about 10 years ago called The Passion Test that a friend of mine wrote, Janet Atwood. And in that book, it has an exercise that said that in order to maintain your passion in life, you must write your 100-year birthday speech, which I did 10 years ago. And I keep refining it. So I plan to definitely be over 100 years old. Based on the new science today, we can live past 120, 125. I have right now Dr. Jeff Gladden, a dear friend of mine. He's a medical doctor, considered one of the most influential longevity experts in the world. And he believes that we can all live at 30 for a very long time, just how we felt when we were 30. So technology and all of these new opportunities that we have in healthcare will allow us to live a lot longer. And that's why I'm a fanatic of being able to always look for the best things that we can find to keep us healthy. And I'm just so excited because, John, I'm probably one of your biggest customers and one of your biggest fans, because you have engineered some of the most innovative healthcare technologies I have ever seen in my life. And I own a lot of it, but you keep evolving into better and better and better. And that's why I get so excited, because I hope that you and I are doing this podcast or this show 50 years from now and look better than we look today.